in order to detain somebody, what do you have to have legally? Do you know?
I do not know the law legally.
Okay. Have you ever heard of something called a Terry search or a Terry frisk?
I have.
Okay, what is that?
I'm not going to say exactly. I don't know the law.
Okay.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Car to Car. I'm Ramon.
And hi, I'm Dana.
On today's episode, we're going to review a case that I found on social media of a 20-year police veteran who was in a courtroom not being able to explain simple laws that we all should know as police officers. Dana, what is your thought when you saw this video?
Well, when I saw the video, I saw a sergeant who was in a deposition who could not explain the Terry stop, Terry frisk, Miranda rights, and I just thought about the course of courtroom procedures and testifying procedures, that training that we received, and I thought that she could possibly benefit it from it because maybe in her career she hasn't gone and did many depositions, and so she forgot. But the basics of why you stop someone, I don't think any officer should ever forget those because you're going to use that throughout your career. And if you don't know why you're stopping someone, that's a good indication that you should not stop that person if you can't articulate those reasons. But just moving back to the deposition at hand, I think that she probably did not pull the arrest reports, the incident reports, or any documentation so that she could be accurately prepared of the circumstances of the case before going in there. And this was actually a lawsuit too, so generally before you give a deposition on behalf of the city attorney generally prepares you for that, and so you'll know what questions to expect, and they prepare you. You do go over the scenario and you answer so that you wouldn't stumble as she did. So I just think it was a poor lack of preparation on their part. And like I said, if you don't know why you're stopping someone, that's a good indication you shouldn't be stopping them. And hence, this also ended in a settlement because they obviously didn't have a good reason to stop this person to begin with.
Yeah, this is very disappointing because some of the basic things that you learn in law is dealing with stop and frisk and, the constitutional rights of citizens. Like you said, those initial stops, those initial conversations, does a citizen have the right to walk away? Are they being detained? Can you frisk them? Can you search them? Like, there is basic laws that we have to know. And so this truly goes to the competence of the officer, and it makes you wonder, is this the culture of their police department? One thing that I really respect about our police department is, and I'm sure most police departments do this, they have a survival training, whether it's a day or 2 days. We have a survival week. And so some of these main points of contention we go through. So let's say there's something that's dealing with a shooting or stopping someone that has some sort of mental illness or whatever. In our training, we go through all of these things. We talk ourselves through this. We talk about when we're qualifying shooting, we talk about the law. We talk about our policy, when you can shoot, why you can't shoot. We ask questions. We take tests. So it's disappointing when you see something like this because it's you're easily able to violate somebody's rights when you don't know the basic law. And there's a thought process where people believe that we should know at least the very basics of law. And so just seeing this was very disappointing.
It was very disappointing, and the fact that she just had a problem articulating them. I'm like, even if you don't know the law word for word, you should be able to articulate your actions that will line up with the law so that you can answer the question. And she wasn't able to do that as well. And another thing too, just in a point that I wish she would have said, is that I need to take a break so I can refresh my memory. So she could have went and looked at the law, because you can do that in the deposition. You can take a minute to refresh and refer to your reports and refer to documents and the law. so that you can respond appropriately.
I agree, and shame on the city attorney to not say, um, excuse me for a second,
Yeah.
officer, sergeant, is there something that will refresh your recollection? Because that's done all the time to help us, because sometimes people are afraid when they testify and they can't articulate it. It doesn't mean that they don't know, but she clearly here appears that she didn't know, and she refused to know, refused to answer. Let me tell you, just being in all of the investigative units that I've been in and just handling, hundreds of cases, there's a lot of scenarios that can intertwine or go into each other that may seem similar. So, like you said, being able, hey, excuse me for a second, can I refer to my notes? Can I refer to the law book so I can accurately articulate exactly my thought process when I was doing it in accordance with the law? There's several different things she could have done here. And I think one of the other disappointing things is that she was a supervisor,
For sure.
and supervisors are role models. So she's been a supervisor for 10 years. And so that goes to who knows what unit she's in. Apparently, if there's some sort of Terry stop or frisk or anything, she's on patrol. So she's supervising patrol officers. And if she doesn't know when she comes to a scene, when someone requests a supervisor, she's going to be more lost than the officer, or stopping the officer for potentially violating someone's civil rights.
Exactly.
So,
That's exactly what a supervisor is. The first rule is to keep your officers out of trouble, and they're also one of the safety guards for liability for the city. So it's definitely disappointing. But one of the takeaways I have from this is definitely take advantage of in-service trainings that you have for courtroom procedures and all the other ones that help you throughout your career, for sure. And just be prepared. Generally, knowing the circumstances before you go and testify, pull the reports, all those documentations. Be prepared. And if you have a question, you have city legal to ask. You know, and
yeah,
that's it.
like I said, I respect our department for doing that. Every year, they came out with a publication. These are the new laws. This is what changed in this law. This is what was taken away. This was what was added. So, I think that really helped us. But as individuals, if we consider ourselves professionals, we got to treat this job in a professional manner. We got to continue to know what we say we know. And that's all I got.
That's all I have. And also, last thing, law books. Every year, they always have that first couple of pages, like the basis of the law.
Mm-hmm.
Just read that, thumb through that every now and then, and just refresh yourself in the law book. Those first 40, 50 pages goes over Terry Stop, Miranda, all that, all the background of the laws that we use daily. So that's all I have.
That's all I have as well.
So there's another episode of Car to Car Podcast. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment.
And until next time.
Till next time.